All right, this one is called the Cutter Plus. Now, the reason why they're calling it a Cutter Plus is the old one was a cutter and slicer, and this one also does spiralizing. So I'm going to show you all the parts. You get all this, the lid is different. So people have asked me, lots of people have asked me, does the old cutter work with this one? No, it doesn't. It has to have a locking lid. This is the new locking lid mechanism. So it needs to have a lid that will lock down. So without it, your Thermomix doesn't recognize the lid is on and it won't work. So yes, you need to have this one for the TM7. All right, so let me show you the parts. So you've got your base that just sits in here that collects all the food that you're spiralizing or cutting. This is your cutter disc. Now, there are two sides to your cutter disc. One has a grey side and the other is a slate side. And the way we remember this is this one, the grey side will grate and the slate side will slice. Now, when your Thermomix is going forward, it will slice thin, and if it goes backward, it will slice thick. Now, you don't have to remember all that because your Thermomix has got modes where you can use the modes for slicing, spiralizing, grating, and it says what do you want, thick or thin, and it will work out whether you need to go forward or backward. The only thing you have to remember is the slate side slices and the grey side grates. So same thing with this. Grate, if you go forward, it will be thick. If it goes backwards, it'll be thin. So you have thick and thin grating and thick and thin slicing. So that's pretty cool. So four different cuts in one unit. Now there's the spiralizer. I probably don't use this as much because my knife skills are pretty good, but I do use this spiralizer because I can't really spiralize vegetables, and we have a lot of spiralized vegetables in our house. I actually, like I said earlier, we eat a lot of broccoli, so I tend to keep all my broccoli stems, I trim them back, and I use the broccoli stems for noodles for the kids. They don't particularly like the zucchini noodles because I think they're a bit spongy and a bit wet, but broccoli stems they absolutely love. So I use that for that. I'm going to show you how to put this together. And when you first get it, it's a little bit confusing, but I've got to tell you, it only goes one way, so it really isn't. So this part of the unit, what you do is there's little lugs on each side, and all you do is you open those, and these parts come out for washing. Now, they only go in one way. If you try to put this in this way, it doesn't work. So it only goes in one way, so you can see that you won't be able to put the lid on if it's backwards. Same with this, that won't go in that way, it'll only sit in this way, so that's the way it's got to go. So you can put the spiralizing one in, or you can put the ribbon one in, but we're going to do spiralize here, and I'm going to put this back on, and all you do is push this and clip it back into place. Once again, taking it apart, you just pull those lugs and pop it back on, you clip it into place. Easy. All right, now this is the other section that what you have to do is put this part into here, and once again it only goes one way. You can't put it in this way, you have to do it this way. So you just click it into place and it clicks and it stays. To get it out, all I do is hold it on either side, use my thumbs, and I push that and it just pops straight out. But we'll put it in like that. Now, all right, so the next bit is this part here is used, it used to come with two separate pieces, and it is still two separate pieces if you separate them. So here there's some little lugs on the side. If you push down on those lugs, it will separate the two parts. Now, one part here is good for when you're grating cheese, when you're slicing cheese. But if you're using your spiralizer, what you'll need to do is you'll have to have something that grabs onto that vegetable or fruit. So when you've got a carrot or a zucchini or whatever you're using, it needs to grab onto these little legs, if you like. So that they've just made it so that there's one part that clips together so that you don't have to have lots and lots of parts in the drawer, I guess. So that comes apart like that. So I'm going to leave this off for now because the first thing I'm going to do is spiralize. Here it is, the spindle. So you need to put the spindle in. Now this is better now as well. The old one, it would just sit there and it didn't, it was loose. This one, so that sits inside there. This opening at the front so that this connects. And there you go. Easy. I'm going to go to my front panel and I'm going to spiralize a carrot. So I'll be back in a sec. I am going to just peel the outside of this. I'm not sure where this carrot was grown, so I'd rather just cut the outside off and do that. So now I've got my carrot. I have it that it fits in the chute. I'm going to push this onto these prongs, if you like, and I am going to spiralize. Now when I click on the spiralizer, it's going to say, would you like it thin or would you like it thick? And I'm going to go with thin. All you do is pop it in like this and start. So you just gently push it down. You don't have to push down hard. It's quite sharp, so it does it without any fuss. This actually has a time limit on it. You can stop it if you want to, or you can just let it go. And then once it unlocks the lid again, you can then open it, and this is your spiralized carrot. So as I say, we spiralize our zucchini, and that's what it looks like. It's not zucchini, our broccoli. Gotta get my words right today. And I'm just going to now take this out. And I'll clip this. So you have just this little disc here of wastage. Now every single spiralizer I've ever used has always got a little disc of waste. This is probably less than the Japanese model that I had, because the Japanese model had a really thick tube down the center. And it had about the same size as this. So, but these noodles are lovely. Now I'm going to show you next this part. So let me just get another carrot. This carrot's cold, it's been in the fridge. Okay, so this is where I said this is the grey side for grating, slicing side. So we're going to put this on again. We're going to put grating side up. We pop this on. Now we have to put this part in this time because we're just going to push it against the top. And I'm going to go from spiralizer to grating, because we have the grey side up. And then we're going to put our carrot in, and I'm going to go thin just for a few seconds and show you how that works. Alright, so I did that for a few seconds. Now I'm going to go thick. Let it do that. Alright, and I'll show you the two different sizes of the grate. Okay, let's see. All right, oh, you can actually see it, it's separated it in the bowl. You can see that the thin grate here and the thick grate on this side. So that's pretty cool. Let me see if I can tip this out and keep it in the same spot. No, close, but no cigar. All right, so there, thick and thin. I'll pull the camera down in a second, you can see the difference. All these parts go in the dishwasher, by the way, which is pretty awesome, I think. Now, I'm using pretty hard cheese. This is a local company who makes Parmesan. So in my experience, if you're going to use really hard cheese, you need to cut it into small pieces. You sort of have to respect the machine a bit. I'm just going to cut this bit of wax off. Now I'm cutting it into small bits. Like I said, if you, it will do big chunks, but you know how long for? I don't know. So let's respect that, and yeah, just get it small bits with a hard cheese like Parmesan. All right, I'm gonna grate side up again, grey side, grating. Let's put that on top again. And then I'm going to go thin, grate, and I'm going to put that in there. Start, all right, and I'm just gonna put a couple of bits in. So I'm stopping it. I'm going to show you the thin. Oh, you can see, I don't know if you can see in there, that really fine grate of Parmesan. Okay, let me have a look. That's your fine grate. All right, I'll get some soft cheese next and show you that. Okay, this is some Asiago cheese. So thin slice and thick slice. I would do this on thick. I wouldn't bother doing it on thin. It's a soft cheese, it's rubbery. So thin slice isn't gonna really work very well. So thick, put it in, start it, push. The lid to unlock, and this is the sliced cheese. They're the thick slices. So as you can see, if you did thin, it would just, I don't know, because it's soft cheese, it's just gonna yeah, not work very well, but that works pretty good for sliced. Let me just cut this out. All right, let me show you slices of carrot. And then I'm gonna do thin. Oh, that was thick. Thin. Okay, let me show you that. All right. So, thin slices. Thick slices. Pop the lid on. And I'm going to go to slicing. And I'm going to go thick slices with this one. And I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to go thin slices with the next one. So you can see the difference. So quick. here we go. I might just move this back. All right. So we have thin slices. These are great for making chips. I don't know if you do chips, but my mum was big on making chips for my grandson, for my son. So I make them for my grandsons, and this is thick. So that's the thick one for making potato bake. So that's, yeah, thick and thin, thin and thick. Yeah. All right. So we've got thin noodles. I'm going to do ribbons now. So let me just bring the unit closer so I can reach it. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the easiest way I find putting the parts together. And then don't forget that when you're going to spiralize, you need to use the pusher that's got the prongs on the bottom so that your vegetables just don't spin around. That will hold them in place so that they will cut properly. And that's pretty much it. It's easy when you know how.